guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a process video of a full alcohol marker mermaid piece that I did last week. This was a really fun project that I decided to do very last minute. I haven't really played with my Copic and Prismacolor markers in a long time, so I thought maybe I would try doing a whole piece with them again because I haven't done one like this since I was in high school. So I decided to recreate one of my older mermaid drawings into a large 14 by 17 size Bristol paper. For those of you who don't really know what alcohol markers are, they're basically a double-ended type of marker that is alcohol based, and they're used for a lot of comics and design and illustration by a lot of professionals. The most popular brands of these are probably Copic or Copic and Prismacolors. Those are the two that I use most frequently. The reason people like them so much is that there are a lot of colors and they blend really well, so you can get a full range of values and hues with the right set of markers. I've been using markers since I was a freshman in high school. I saved up to buy my first set of Prismacolors. I think it was the 150 set. And then with those markers, I saved up more money doing contests and stuff in high school to buy my own set of Copic markers. I bought the set of 72 colors, I believe. I think it's set A. One thing I do regret now is getting the chisel tip ends of both of those markers, because the best nib that they have now are the brush nibs because they're very flexible and it's easier to blend with them. But the chisel tips are still very useful and you can make them work if you have those. A lot of people ask me which type of marker I prefer, what my favorite brand is, and I'm kind of torn between both Copics and Prismacolors. Copics have a very wide range of colors and their brush nibs are really nice, but they're super expensive. Their original sketch markers can range around $5 to $8 per marker, and their sets can go up to like $400 or $500 for a set, so they're really expensive. But yeah, they do have a very wide range of colors, and they look really nice, like their packaging and everything. I also really like Prismacolors because they have really vibrant colors. They're almost more vibrant than Copic markers, and they're a bit cheaper. I think it can be like $3 to $5 for a marker. One downside to Prismacolors though is that they are not refillable. Copic sells refills of every color of their markers, but Prismacolors, if you want to, you can refill it with actual rubbing alcohol. It would dilute the color, but it would extend the life of your marker a little bit and just give you a lighter color. But they're both really good brands, and it's kind of up to you which one you want to try based on the price and how long it lasts. I do like Prismacolor's chisel tip, the quality of their chisel tip nib, a lot better than Copic's. There are actually a lot of off-brands. There are brands like Art and Fly, Shinhan has their Touch Twin markers. There's concept markers, there's the Spectrum, Chameleon, and a ton of other brands that you could try out. You can mix and match your colors and markers. They don't always have to be the same brand. Alcohol markers will work with each other no matter who makes them. When you're using markers like these, you want to make sure you have a good paper that works well with them. If you've ever tried using an alcohol marker, you'll notice that they bleed through the paper really quickly, and certain types of paper will soak up all of the ink in your markers, and that's a really scary thing when the markers are so expensive. So you want to make sure you have good paper for it. There are a lot of different brands that make actual marker paper. This type of paper will help you with blending, and the ink shouldn't transfer through the page to another page, but it will soak up the ink and show through the backside, just like any other paper. If you're looking to do a more finished piece and you don't want the thinness of marker papers, you could also use Bristol paper. It's thick enough so that the ink won't go through the paper to like your desk or anything, but it will still absorb ink just like any other paper again. Types of paper that you shouldn't use are watercolor paper. That's really bad. It will just absorb all of the ink in your markers, so do not use anything super thick and absorbent. Some brands of marker paper are, I believe Canson, their XL series has some marker paper that's pretty cheap. There's also Bien Fang, and I actually just picked up a new brand that I've never heard of before called Borden and Riley, and they make a marker pad that's actually thick paper, but it's marker paper, so I'm really excited to try this out. I will let you guys know what I think about it. But if you just search online for marker paper, you should find a lot of different brands, and I would definitely recommend using that to start out when drawing with markers. Another question I get a lot is, how do you get smooth color with markers and how do you blend? One thing you might notice when using markers is that they streak. When you're trying to cover a large flat area, they will overlap and the color won't be even. That is a really tough thing to deal with markers. I still struggle with it a bit because really the best way to stop it from streaking is to just layer it up. Just keep layering on the color and drawing slowly. Problem is that also uses a lot of the ink in your marker. If you're trying to save ink like I do all the time, it's really hard to get yourself to draw slowly and use up more ink than usual. But when you're coloring a large area, what you want to do is separate it into parts. So say you're coloring like this mermaid tail. What you want to do is section it off based on where you think the shadows are going to be and where it would be okay to have darker marks, because where the sections overlap, the markers will layer over each other and get a bit darker. You could also layer a couple of different colored markers to smooth out the coloring and make it look a bit more uniform. When blending colors, you want to make sure that your ink stays a little bit wet, so you have to work quickly if you're trying to get a really smooth transition. A lot of times if you see me trying to blend really well, usually when I'm working on like blush in the cheeks on the faces of my characters, I will have two markers open at the same time, one in each hand, and I will switch back and forth quickly because once it dries, when you add more marker to it, it won't blend as well. So the best tricks for getting smooth color and blending well is working quickly, keeping it wet as in, you know, moist, not like actual water, sectioning it out and layering your colors. So after I finished laying down the base colors with my markers, I decided to do the line work and small details using my new set of Faber Castell Polychromos colored pencils. I finally decided to treat myself to some art supplies that I've been wanting to buy for years now. So recently I bought a set of 120 of the Polychromos colored pencils. They're a bit expensive, but they're definitely the best colored pencils I've ever used. They sell them individually as well at a lot of art stores, so if you want to try those out, you can probably get yourself a few colors. I also bought myself a set of Mission Magello Gold watercolors. I think I got the set of 35 colors and a nice new palette to put them in. I also got some new sketchbooks, some more Copic markers, and a whole bunch of paper to use, so you'll probably see me using those items, or maybe I'll do some kind of haul or review of these things pretty soon. Let me know if you guys want to see that. If any of you are like me, I get super excited when buying new art supplies and I just want to talk about them all the time, so if you want to see something like that, just let me know. Okay, so I added a few slower clips in this video to show the details from different angles and stuff, so I'm gonna let you guys watch since it's a pretty long video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!